Welcome to this video. In this video, I would like to talk about this functionality, about this button within the ALV Grid Control, the so-called navigation profile. So in this video, I would like to explain what a navigation profile is, what kind of functionality a navigation profile has, and how you can add and create a navigation profile on your own within the ALV Grid Control. So enjoy this video and let's get started. Here I am right now in the ABAP program execution, so in the transaction code SA38, and in here I have entered a sample program to show you navigation profiles and to explain to you what a navigation profile is. It's NAVP underscore demo underscore table. So I will execute this, then basically here I can execute it once again. And here as shown, we can see within the toolbar a button, and if you hover over this button, then you see the tooltip navigation profile. So basically with this button, you can open up the navigation profile. You have different functionalities if you click on this. And basically, a navigation profile is a function in the ALV Grid Control, so in the SAP list viewer, that can be used to add additional functions and transactions to the application toolbar or context menus of an ALV Grid Control. So basically, with the navigation profile, different buttons within the application toolbar can be added. And navigation profiles can be set up user dependent or user independent. And it is even possible to transport navigation profiles or define navigation profiles to different SAP systems. And the navigation profile can be called up with the corresponding button as shown in the application toolbar in the ALV Grid Control. And navigation profiles can be managed also with the transaction NAVP underscore manage. So if you open up this transaction, then basically within here you can type in your program, your handle or your logical group. You can normally leave them blank. And here, because we're basically in this program, here you can execute it. And here you basically see that currently I have just created one navigation profile to this program. And you can also open up this maintenance view, this maintenance transaction within the navigation profile buttons. So here you click there and then you can also select manage navigation profile. It's currently locked, so I have to close this. So here you also end up in the maintenance. And going one step back, you have different functionalities. So first of all, you can select a navigation profile. So there, for example, you have some profiles already here. One is the SAP standard profile in the sample program. Then I have my own created one. And then if you select on this, then this will be selected and the application toolbar is changed. Basically, this is a copy, so nothing is changed currently. But then you can also change your navigation profile. This is, I think, one of the most important functionalities within the navigation profile, because in here you can see that based on this toolbar, we're seeing exactly the same buttons within here. And for example, here different folders have been created. And for example, if you select the folder and then here you can create a new entry, or if you like to, you can also delete one entry. So here, for example, you can click on this create new entry, and then you can, for example, add a separator as we saw 2 times in here. So basically, after this field glass, there is one separator, and after this plane icon, there's one separator. You can also call a transaction, you can also call a function, a class, or you can also add a menu if you want to. And for example, we would just simply like to add a transactional call. So simply click on this, then over here, you can just type in your text. So for example, display purchase order, then within the icon there, if you know the icon name, you can type it in manually, but you also can use the for help. And here, for example, you can select one icon that you want to, and just for demo purposes I would like to use the icon start viewer. So I double click, then the quick info, so the tooltip would be display purchase order, and the transaction, if you want, you can also open up the for help here, ME23N. And then if you want to, you can skip the initial screen. You can determine set get parameters automatically. You can define set get parameters automatically if you want to. If you would like to get further information, then you can also click on this end user documentation button or use the key combination shift and F1. So, and then we just want to continue, and then we can see that a additional node has been added, and now we would like to continue, and here we now see the display purchase order. So if you click on this, then you will end up in the transaction ME23N with the F3 key or the back button. You can go one step back, and if you would like to change it, for example, you don't want to have some kind of text, and once again you can go to change navigation profile. You can click on this, and with double click over here you can also delete this. If you want to confirm it once again, and then you have just your icon. And this is really, really great, as you can see, as you saw earlier, because there within the ALV grid control you have a lot of possibilities. You can add so many functions within the ALV grid control. You can customize it, and if we, for example, click on, sure, you can, after changing it, you can save it, for example, to set underscore test 2, and then here you can set it user specific, so that just you, for example, will see this kind of navigation profile. Or if you want to, you can also set this navigation profile default if you want to. So then we can continue, and once again with the manage navigation profile you have also the possibility to delete specific navigation profiles. You can import them if you want. You can get some detailed information, or you can also define a navigation profile as a default navigation profile. And yeah, that's really, really great functionalities. So, and here I am in the transaction PFCG to maintain authorization roles. And basically here I have manually added one authorization object. It's the C underscore NAV underscore prof. And this authorization object is needed, is mandatory to work with the navigation profiles properly, because if you would like to maintain, if you would like to create and manage navigation profiles, then you must have the authorization object cnavprof, at least with specific activities. So basically the two activities, the 01 to add or create a navigation profile, and the 23 to maintain a navigation profile properly. And be aware of this authorization object to add it to your specific roles if you would like to work with navigation profiles. Before explaining you how you can create and add the navigation profiles within the ALV Grid Control, I would like to show you some sample programs within the SAP system to give you the possibility to analyze, and yeah, let's play with some navigation profiles on your own. We saw earlier the program navp underscore demo underscore table. There's a different one with complex at the end, so there you can execute this. And yeah, play a little bit around this. This is perfectly fine. And here basically we seeing some different navigation profile button within here. So yeah, to execute some functional codes, if you want to, you can also open this program in the transaction SE38 within the ABAP editor to display the code, to analyze what's going on, what's happening in here, to rebuild the navigation functionality on your own. I think this is helpful. And there's a different one, for example, not to show you a table, to show you a tree. They're again executed, so you can also add navigation profiles to in different trees. So this is also possible, again with the complex at the end. Have different complex functions. There are a lot more reports. I will put all the list of great sample programs in the video description so that you can have a look on them on your own. So basically, to add a navigation profile in the ALV Grid Control, a couple of steps are needed. So first of all, we have to build the standard ALV Grid Control. So first of all, we have to create a custom container. Then we will set up the GUI status. Then we will create a field catalog. Then after that, we will create an ABAP program. So we will select the data, we will create the ALV, the created ALV grid control, the defined ALV grid control. Then we will add the navigation profile. I think this is the most important step regarding navigation profile we're gonna watch. And then last but not least, we will call the ALV grid control with the selected data. So these steps are needed to add a navigation profile in the ALV Grid Control, and I would like to show you directly these steps in the SAP system. So first of all, to add the navigation profile within the ALV Grid Control, we have to create one ABAP program. Because of that, I have started the ABAP editor in the transaction code SE38. And basically here I will create an ABAP program. So I will create on create. And then, for example, within here, I will add a title. So for example, navigation profile in ALV Grid Control. I make it as an executable program. I would like to save it. I would like to add it as a local object. This is perfectly fine. And then I will activate it. So this is basically fine. I am going out of the edit mode. Then after that, we will create a screen. So we open up the screen painter in the transaction SE51. And in here, we are basically typing in over program name. So the created one, then one screen number, then once again on create, then here basically a short description. So for example, screen for navigation profile, whatever you like. And then you go on the layout button, or you can also use the key combination control F7. Then basically within here, we will add a custom control. Just drag and drop it to this. So you click on this and then you use it over there, make it a little bit bigger. So perfect. With double click, if you want, you can also change the length and the height. If you want, you can add a name. So see conch in my case. This is fine. I will save it and activate it. Then I will exit this layout navigator. So it is perfectly fine. In the element list now, the custom control should be shown. Then we're going to flow logic. And then here we need the process before output. With the forward navigation, you can just create it. So here, this is also perfectly fine. Yeah, you can confirm this. Yes, I would like to save it. And within here, I will comment this out. So the status, so for example, yeah, status 100. Set the title bar, for example, navigation profile in ALV Grid Control. And once again, with double click, I can create the GUI status. Yes, short text is GUI status. You can leave all the other settings as they are. I will continue. And basically, we're just doing the purest basic stuff. So here, for example, we would like to go back. Here we would like to exit the program and exit. If you want to, of course, you can extend this as you want to. You can add additional functions within here, but just to create a sample program, this is perfectly fine. So I will create it, activate this. In my case, I just select everything. So this is perfectly fine. So now I'm going a couple of steps back, because now we need the user command. So I will comment this in, and then with double click, I can create it once again. Yes, I will use the predefined name. This is also fine. If you want to, of course, you can define own names. Yes, and within here, I have already prepared the code. So I'll paste this in. So basically what this code does, it gets the OK code. And as we've defined the back OK code and the exit, and then if you're clicking on the 3 key or the spec button, then you will set the screen to 0 and you will leave the screen. And if you exit and if you cancel, then you will free basically the object for the custom controller. We will define a couple of steps, and most important, you will leave the program. I will use this to free the memory, and then after that, of course, we will clearing the OK code. So yeah, of course, it doesn't know the OK code. We will define in a couple of steps, but just to have this in here. So basically now we're going into the ABAP editor once again, and then we will change it. And here we're seeing our two defined includes. And here I have once again prepared the code. So basically now we're seeing the two variables. So basically what I'm doing in here, I am defining an internal table because I would like to select data of the table echo. So to select purchase orders, and within here I have an object, so an instance of the class CL GUI custom container to use the custom container later on and to work with the OK code. So with the buttons in the bar, then I'm also defining an OK code. And here basically I am selecting the data from the table echo. I am saving the data into the internal table. And yeah, of course, if it's initial, I'm just showing a message we can define, and then after that I am calling the ALV grid control. Yeah, so I'm saving. I will define this. Yes, so no entries found, for example. So this is perfectly fine. I'm going one step back. And now what is kind of important, so for example, if we forward navigate into the called screen, we need to have the main part of the program. We need to add a module to output the data. So to do this in the BPO, we defining a module, and for example, just output doing the pretty printer, activate it. I'm activating once again everything, and now we should not get our syntax errors. So now this is perfectly fine, because within here now we have defined those two variables, because in here we saw earlier that we got a syntax warning, so this is fine. And then once again into the output. Now we would like to create the module for the output. So yes, we're defining this. If you want to, you can define an own include name. For me, it's perfectly fine. Yes, I would like to confirm it. And I have also prepared the code for this one. I will explain you in a couple of seconds. So basically what I am doing in here. So first of all, I am defining or creating, in better words, my custom container. So here I am creating this. Here you have to be aware to use the same ID as you are using. In my case, I have been used cont for the custom container. In the screen painter, you can look it up if you want to in the name. Then after that, I am preparing the field catalog. So I'm calling the function LVC field catalog merge with the structure name echo. For example, if we have one own table, one own structure name, then you have to use this in here. Then I am creating or preparing the field catalog. And then after doing this, then I am creating the ALV grid control with the custom container. So I'm creating an object, an instance of the ALV grid control class, so the CL GUI ALV grid. Then after that, I think this is the most important part. I am adding the navigation profile to the ALV Grid Control. So basically within here, I'm getting the reference first of all of the internal table, saving it to the output. I'm saving the report name into the profile parameter or variable report. And then after that, I think this is the most important part. I am creating a local object of the navigation profile. And basically here you have to use the class CL underscore NAVP underscore ALV underscore table to work with the navigation profile. So basically here I'm doing this. I am saving the ALV, or I'm linking the ALV grid control to the navigation profile, also the output, and of course the profile itself to of course get the program name, save mode in A. This is also fine. If you want to hear, I have some comments. So within here, you can also use this kind of program instead of the shown one. Depends on what you like. I use this one, and then I will create a data. So basically I will set the table for the first display. So I will transfer the selected data with the field catalog, and then this is perfectly fine. So I will activate everything, and then we're going a couple of steps back into our program, doing one final syntax check. This is perfectly fine, and now we would like to execute it. And now we can see that the data in the table echo is selected with our navigation profile within the toolbar. And here, for example, you can also change the navigation profile. So for example, in the application toolbar, I would like to add a transaction as we saw earlier. So I would like to display the purchase order, and then I will continue, and now you're jumping into the purchase order and you have this button available. I think it's really useful working with navigation profiles. It's some kind of hidden feature in my opinion within the AV Grid Control. Yeah, and if you like to, you can work with that. If you have some questions regarding AV Grid Control, regarding navigation profiles, put them in the video description, the comment section. Please hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel to never miss great upcoming videos. Thank you very much, and then see you in the next video.